With everybody back here too, standing after we do a proclamation here shortly. We have about 30 seconds to game time here, and we will start right on.
And then if the gentleman on the end, if you want to scooch that way a little bit to get in frame a little bit more, there you go.
Oh, yes, you can see up there. So sometimes there's up to 100 people at home watching, so everybody will be watching you. And again, for the families and you athletes, this is on our YouTube channel. So you can go in there, get a picture of it, send it to all your grandparents, send them to everybody. So that will be available by tomorrow on tape, but it's there live tonight. So with that, we're almost ready to go. And we will go from there. Tell me when we're set. You good online?
Yep. All systems go, not quite 6:30 yet.
Tell me when I'm showing 6:30 right now. So I'm calling this meeting to order. If we could all rise, and ladies, if you could turn this way, you are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you have a microphone, turn it on and put it towards the ladies right now. So if you all can do that, yep, there you go. You can begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. You stay right there and face your phones. You can kind of get that video queued up over there. At this point, I'd like to do a roll call. Michaela, if you could do that, do a roll call. Thank you.
Nettie.
Here.
Krenz.
Here.
Roski Brown.
Here.
Carter. Turnbull.
John Carter has an excused absent. He's in New York tonight, so it's okay. So we have 4 of the 5 council members. And you are ready anytime on that? So I want to get you in the spirit. We have a little video that one of the parents sent me. I had it on a thumb drive, and you ladies know this very well. Let's run it as I walk down there. Let it rip. Ladies, we in Northville are so very proud of each and every one of you. So I'm an athlete when dinosaurs roamed the earth, back a long time ago, both in high school and college. I think everybody in Northville rallied behind you. I'm told you're the funnest group out there in the whole bit. I talked to RJ Weber, the superintendent. He was invited tonight. He had something else. Come on out. I didn't see him sneak yet. So from that standpoint, you don't only represent yourself, but you represent your parents, a lot of them out there. You represent the school and all in Northville. You're very proud. Because of that, I got a hold of a friend of mine, the governor, and we did a day in the city for you. And I'm going to read that proclamation. So, Coach, come up here. So this is on behalf of the city of Northville, and it goes something like this. Mayoral proclamation from the city of Northville, the Mustang Girls Hockey. Whereas it is my great privilege and pleasure on behalf of the city council behind you and all Northvillians to honor the achievement of Northville High School girls hockey for clinching the 2026 Michigan Girls Hockey State Championship. And whereas this team serves as a shining example of outstanding character, hard work, and dedication, where each student athlete not only represents themselves, but also their families, as we said, the school, and all Northvillians who live in our hamlet in the hills or Switzerland or Wayne County, we call Northville. Whereas I congratulate the leadership of Coach Jay Lee and all the staff. We appreciate that tremendously. And all the student athletes for what you endured to get here and the dedication. Whereas today I speak on behalf of all Northvillians, and I thank all the coaches, the high school athletic staff, and the parents that are here today that have encouraged you, not only today, but your entire life, for supporting these exceptional student athletes. Today, we recognize each of these athletes in the pursuit of sports excellence. It truly is. You won the state championship, representing us as ambassadors of goodwill for all of Northville. So now, therefore, be it resolved that as the mayor of the city of Northville, I, Brian P. Turnbull, concurrent with the governor of the state of Michigan, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 10th, 2026, in the city of Northville as Mustang Girls Hockey Day. You can do anything you want today. Right in the middle, everybody squeeze up here. And the coaches, everybody squeeze in here. You want to take a picture? This is a picture time. Yes. Everybody say cheese, say hockey. Hockey. Everybody good out there? Good. So the Ville is going to run another article. I just sent all the pictures to them again and a picture of this. So congratulations. I have a proclamation for each and every one of you that I signed. So if you come, I'll come to you and stay there. That's proclamation that I just read, you know, it's really, that is another one that I have signed, the governor. Another one too. Your parents will appreciate you. You? Absolutely. And there's a few that aren't here today.
I believe Lisa has something for you.
Oh.
He wants to give you this medal that all the Northville girls has, and this lovely t-shirt that I hope is in.
I was very proud. I really appreciate that. So, and here's one for yourself. And I'm gonna give you the rest because I know you have an awful lot of girls that weren't here tonight. Those are all signed and the proclamations. Again, let's give it up for that. So with that, ladies, you can go back to your seats of blank. Or go out to the wild and there's a game, you know, in about an hour and a half. So out there. Congratulations, ladies.
Welcome to see how city government.
Oh, yeah. Or you can stay whatever you would like, but I know that there's a lot going on tonight.
Yeah.
We will go on. If you're newbies in here, there's the agendas as you come in to the right. I'm kind of your guide through this. Thank you very much, parents and coaches and athletes. We appreciate you being here tonight. I am looking, we are number 5, the approval of the agenda. You have agenda in front of you. Is there anything to add or delete from the agenda that you see in front? It's very simple tonight. We might actually get out of here. We're doing that after we approve these two.
Oh.
Yep. So we will add to the agenda tonight on right before public hearing, a remembrance of David Field. So I want that on the public record. So that will be, let's go 8A, and we will go to, I'm changing it. I know I usually let you guys. 8B will be the public hearing. So we will do that for David Field. He'll be written into the record here tonight. I wanted it official. Barbara was going to do that, but I wanted the hockey players to move on before we got to this solemn moment and the whole bit.
For user discretion,
Yeah.
where to insert it.
Yep. Use your discretion. Make sure that that's in the activities. So you're looking for somebody here? Keep looking. Very good. So with that, that's the approval. We only have 2 things tonight. We have one public hearing on termination of the Foundry Flask Brownfield, which we can reenact anytime. And we have a first introduction on Chapter 1, Section 20 on amendments, and we'll talk about that. So that is it. We hope to be out of here. It's my wife's birthday, so by 7:18, I'm going to leave. And Mr. Krenz, you will probably gavel it out if we're still here.
Yes.
We go 3-4 hours. This will be a world record. We will be pretty quick tonight, so I believe. So do I have a motion from the bench here on the agenda for tonight?
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Do we have support for that?
Support.
So we have a a motion properly supporting any other discussion. Seeing none, I think we can do this. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Great. So we have an agenda. Public comment. We have 4 that I believe came in that I saw that's in your package or it was emailed over to you. If you have any public comment, you can get right into 4 o'clock. It's online. You can see it anytime and understand what's going on. A lot of people are online tonight. They've seen it. They've looked at it. So know that. All straightforward. And tonight, too, we're meeting with the Open Meetings Act in accordance with the governor's office, all the policies and procedures using the rules set up and the Roberts rules in the state of Michigan. So that's where we are tonight. So with that, is there any public comment on anything that's not in the agenda here tonight? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'm closing that off. If it's something on those 2 exciting things that Justin's going to talk about, I will open it up at that time too. Is there anybody online? Why don't you say how they can raise their hand electronically, Ken? I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone that may be watching online that would like to make public comment, we ask that you call into the comment phone number. You can find the instructions at the top of the agenda. Once you call into the number, we will let you enter the meeting and we will call on you, your last 4 digits of your phone number, and then we'll ask you to raise your virtual hand by pressing *9.
Great. And you can't see all the people online, but I don't see anybody with their hand raised.
You have
at
no
this
one
point.
on the comment line, but you do have people watching.
Okay, but nobody is raising their hand right this second. Is
That's
that correct? Okay, so I'm closing off public comment for things that are not on the agenda tonight. So now we're going to go to the next area in your package, if you picked it up when you came, if you're so moved. Consideration of approving the consent agenda. There's quite a few things on the consent. It's the stuff, paying the bills, a little different things, but sometimes we move that from the consent into the real agenda if we need to talk more about it. I don't see any of those things, but I'm open. Is there anything that should be moved off the consent agenda tonight? Seeing not, I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Great. Do we have a second for that?
I support.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. So with that, we're going to move to a David Field remembrance. There's going to be a large meeting next Wednesday in front of his group, which was the HDC, but I felt compelled tonight knowing David. If the family wants to come up front, meet me right down here. Amy and the girls, Jillian, I have a little proclamation. And again, as we get ready for this, come right up. David Field, which you see a picture up there and everybody at home can see that. He was a very special person to us in Northville. He was a true Northvillian. I've known David for a long time. Jillian and my daughter played together in the 90s. You know, you're old when you talk decades in the whole bit. So I've been at the house. She's been at our house back in the day. David would stop every few weeks and we would solve world problems. We don't know what the questions were, but we had all the answers. So he would be in here all the time. I enjoyed his company. I enjoyed his tutelage. And we sparred a little bit, as you know, and we never finish a conversation because he always keeps a lot of things going. But David and I were very close for a lot of different reasons. Amy's on different activities in town and task forces. I've been when he had another paint project, I believe, in the kitchen. You know, he never completes all of the projects. That was a year or two ago. I was at the house. I got, are you going to get this done yet? But he was on this. So with that, I have just a proclamation, and I took some of this from the celebration of life and my experiences with Dave, but this is for you tonight. Again, next Wednesday, there's going to be more celebration here. That's his crew that he's been with for 20 years. But this goes something like this, a mayoral proclamation from the city of Northville. I'm representing the city for the celebration of life of David Field. Whereas on March 23rd, 2026, Davis Ernest Field of Northville slipped out of this world much the way he lived it, on his own terms, proudly and without a fuss, secure in the knowledge that his last big project of repainting the bedroom would go just a little bit undone. He preferred go a little south and unfinished. As you know, he always had a project going on. Whereas he was a proud alum of Cass Tech, received his undergraduate degree from Michigan State, and became a middle school teacher in Detroit. He went on to receive a law degree from Wayne State University, which led to a 37-year career at Allstate. Heard a lot of stories about Allstate. I got it. I appreciate that. And whereas David was a man of many passions, if you knew David, he served as a 20-year member. I don't know if I'm going to be around that long, as the Northville Historic District Commission and many other boards, if you know him. And I could have listed a lot of them. And whereas at the end of the day, David considered himself a parking lot attendant. If you haven't heard all the stories, a humble servant of the Detroit Tigers and his love of the hustle. David's true career passion began at the tender young age of 7, parking cars at the family lot surrounding Briggs Field, Tiger Stadium. And if you're old enough, well, we have some out there tonight. That's where we played football games too. When I was a kid, I saw the Lions. So he was parking for the Tigers and the Lions and others at that same stadium. The family tradition of parking cars during ball games was truly his longest and most treasured endeavor. And whereas David met his first wife teaching in Detroit and remained devoted until her untimely death in 1993. Lynn's passing left a tremendous void that was so beautifully filled when by chance he met Amy during an all-state event, and he called it Boondoggles, if I remember correctly, and eventually they married in 2011. And whereas David will be remembered as a Spartan for life, a Detroiter to the core, and a true Northvillian. And now, therefore, be it resolved that we in the city of Northville, Hamilton Hills, or Switzerland of Wayne County, acknowledge the immense sharing of David Field's time and talents towards the betterment of this community. And we all realize we are better for it, each and every one of us in this room. That's why we're here tonight, isn't it? So as we go forward, we realize David will continue to guide us. I know he will, on the days to come and the years to come. And I'll probably have those conversations that we've had every few weeks. I might have them to myself, but I know he's listening. So on behalf of the city, I wanted to give the family this proclamation. Thank you very much for coming tonight. David was very special. Thank you. And your grandfather. Nice to see you. So again, on behalf of David Field, is written into the record. It will be a larger celebration of life on next Wednesday, but I thought we helped put this together. Thank you on behalf of the city. Thank you so much. If there's anybody from the audience that would like to say anything at this point on that, you are more than welcome to. I know it's emotional. I got through it. Very unusual. Very good. So let's go now to public hearings. We have two things. And by the way, it is my wife's birthday tonight, 7/18. I will be gone, says my wife, for reservations, but you will gavel us out. So I think we might be out of here on a timely basis. We've never done that in our life. So with that, we have the first public hearing on consideration of resolution number 26-18, termination of the Foundry Flash Brownfield plan. That's at Foundry Flash. We can do a brownfield anytime. It's terminating. We can do it if we do that again. So with that, it's all yours, Justin. Explain to us what we're doing.
So at its March meeting,
For a second. Thank you very much all for coming tonight for the celebration of life. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Neighbors, family, friends, the whole bit. Very important. Granddaughters, daughters, wife. Thank you. Thank you so much.
March meeting, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority recommended City Council terminate the Foundry Flask Brownfield plan. In your packet is a summary memo that was written to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority by the city's brownfield consultant. The state act relative to brownfields allows a plan to be terminated if there's no action on it following 2 years from approval. So that project has not commenced since the approval of the brownfield plan. The site plan and all the related land entitlements and land use approvals have also expired. So the city staff and the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority are recommending termination of the plan. If a project ever comes to fruition there, this termination will not preclude a new project from seeking brownfield incentives. The property's still an eligible property. It's still a brownfield, so there's still work to be done there. The Eagle grant that was previously provided to the project was withdrawn by the state. The state, however, did indicate that they would be supportive of a future grant application on that property for a new project. Again, the property's still a brownfield. It's still worthy of being cleaned up and redeveloped. So there is a resolution in your packet to terminate the brownfield plan. This is a public hearing. The developer is supposed to have an opportunity to speak on this if they want to. They did provide written response to the city's communication that's in your packet. They indicated that they have no issues with this termination, so they're not here tonight. I wasn't expecting them to be, but again, it's a public hearing. We have to open it up to allow that comment if there is any.
And I did speak to some of the owners. Yes, we know if we go to the next level, we could bring it up through Eagle and do brownfield again through the brownfield committee that some up here are part of. So, yep, they were fully supportive, Jim Long and others of doing this.
Yes, and when the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, when we met last week, two things were brought. One is that the city did spend quite a bit of time on this, as would be normal.
Yes.
And also our consultants, but the city incurred no cost.
Yep.
It was all either amounts reimbursed from the developer, or there was a small portion of the state grant we were able to use for the early work.
Right.
So, and as Justin mentioned, hope that in the future, the property owner would, come forward with a plan, whether it's this plan or similar to this plan or a new plan.
Certainly. We'd be fully supportive
Yes.
at that time.
Yeah. So
Good.
that's it.
Any other comments from council members?
No, Mayor, this seemed pretty straightforward.
Great, good. Anybody from in the audience here tonight that has any comments on this? Going once, going twice? I'm closing off public comment on this. Anybody online, Ken, that has their hand up on this?
You have no callers on the comment line at this time,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Great. So I'm closing off comment on that. So Justin, this is the public hearing, but you need the motion to go forward, do you not? That's in the package.
That's correct. Yes,
Okay.
there is a recommended motion in your packet.
So you have a motion. If anybody would like to read that motion into the script here, we will. ask for that.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 26-18, terminating the Foundry Flask Brownfield Plan for 456 East Katy Street.
So we have a motion. We have support for the motion. Any other discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I think we can do this. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, you have that. You stay right there, Justin. You have number 2. So new business, consideration of the first reading and introduction of the amendment of chapter 1, section 20. Tell us about chapter 1, section 20.
So this section of the ordinance lists personnel of the city that can issue notices of violation of the code of ordinances and issue municipal civil infractions. It's currently a variety of inspection and enforcement and public safety personnel. The recommended change is to add the city clerk and community development director to the list of personnel that are authorized to issue those notices of violation. And that just from an administrative standpoint, for example, the clerk's office has various licenses and permits that fall under that office that if there's a violation, it makes sense for that office to handle separately. And again, the community development director oversees many ordinances, so it just made sense to add that position. There's currently a line item in there for zoning inspector, which I've been using because I have been issuing notices of violation, but this just cleans that up. I did speak to Councilmember Morosky Brown about some minor clerical edits that are non-substantive that will be brought back at the second reading.
Excellent.
Mostly punctuation and typographical changes.
Great. So in general, from my standpoint, we're cleaning up all our ordinances and policies and procedures there. Thank you. I thank the Planning Commission and others. We're going through our internal ones, external ones. Some are 100 years old, so we're trying to be a little bit more modern and bring it up to speed. Thank you for all your work, Justin, on that. I didn't see any changes. It's kind of you and the clerk, we're updating it. And remember, we didn't have that position before. We've added different personnel around here and we're cleaning up, who has different power and authority. So no, it's straightforward from my standpoint. Anybody from council?
Mayor, I'll just add
Okay.
that I think it's the right and prudent to have these two additional roles be able to have enforcement responsibility because they're also most informed on ordinances and have been there from the moment they've been written and revised and understands the spirit and intent as well as anybody. So we often talk about the ability to not just write ordinance, but enforce it. And I'm in full support.
Great. Anybody else from council?
No, just likewise, just want to say that thank you for bringing these. I'd look forward to getting one every week because this is simple, right?
Yep.
But yet it's very important. So to the extent you see these or cross them as you're executing your duties, or the clerk is, or whoever, bringing them here, it's just chipping away a little bit at a time. Really appreciate it.
Excellent. Anybody from the audience has any comments on this ordinance? We don't want to give power and authority to Justin. No, I think we do. Going once, going twice. Okay. Anybody online with a hand raised at this point?
You have no callers on the line this time?
Thank you very much, Ken. I'm closing off public comment on that. So I'm looking for the motion to go forward. If you have that in your package.
Go ahead, Barb. Move to approve the first reading of the ordinance amending Chapter 1, Section 20 of the Code of Ordinances with the second reading and adoption scheduled for April 20th, 2026.
Great. So we have a motion. Do we have support for that motion?
Support.
We have support. Any other comments? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Great. So you have that.
Thanks, Justin.
So we are going to get out of here before the basketball game. So now just going to section 10, mayor and council communications very briefly, because my wife wants to have a birthday tonight. No, in Northville, a lot will be going on by the middle of April. If you want something under construction, it'll be there. The roundabout will close down April 13th, coming in Sheldon to finish up all the curbing and what have you. Ford Field starts April 13th also for all the playscape, which should be done by the end of May for Ammerman to come there for their annual trip. We are trying to get that. It's not a guarantee, but that is going on there. We have Novi Road, which is over in that little city, Novi, most of it, but that's a little north of us, if you ever heard of Novi. That road is shut down for construction right now, too. The bridge on 8 Mile, which will be done by the end of summer, it looks like. It was approved in 22, designed in 23, going to be built in 24, and then they found all the conduit for the whole county that went underneath it, so they spent last year redoing the conduit. That is under construction right now. And downtown, to add to everything, we have to do our street right by the clock and around. So it'll be exciting for the next month or so. So stay tuned. Happy post-Easter. It's great to see some of you. I saw you in different organizations, and I thank the police. I got calls from 2 or 3 different churches. You went through the parking lots. And by the way, tonight, our chief of police, Chief Masiak, he is here as the city manager. So he is in charge, acting city manager
He's
tonight.
like as much
So
as a 10.
I appreciate it. Yeah, usually he's in his blues. He's in his blue suit here tonight. So I'll give you a chance if you want to say anything. I know you want to pontificate on this. So that is all I have tonight. Anybody from council?
Mayor, just a couple real brief things. Tomorrow night at planning, we're going to be reviewing impervious surface coverage standards, which might not sound exciting, but that can have direct impact on water retention on lots, which is always very important, especially after all the rains we've had. So if you're interested in that, please come and bring your friends with you. Also something else from prior work, and I floated this to George, but I'll just make it known to council and the public, is after some work that's been done and proposals from Marquis, I'd like to bring forward the concept of an enhanced early site plan review where the applicant can bring forward or ask to have all stakeholders there at the beginning for a project review, as opposed to a sequential activity so that the developer can work through on their own timing plan. So
Sounds
for
logical.
example, if there was something to do with the community development director, that person is aware at the beginning of the project, so it can be at the behest of the applicant, if they would like to do that, or bring in police or fire early, as opposed to bringing in maybe a building official and then saying, oops, I got to go to planning and shut work down. So it's just gonna, I'm suggesting it as a way to keep it clean and give people who are trying to invest in our town an opportunity to go through quicker. And then, of course, go blue tonight.
Go blue,
Go
go blue.
blue.
Okay, let's let it go.
I
Anything?
like that idea. That's a good.
Going
You
blue?
Say the mark. No, I've got one that lives in Connecticut. I
I
gotta be
understand,
you.
let it go. Let it go.
Don't egg my house tonight,
Please.
but did you say the marquee? Is that where?
Yeah, that was the example where it's like, we don't, why hang them up on this? If they have an
Yes.
opportunity to do a review.
Let's work
Excellent.
together.
That's affects ordinance, a few different levels.
At the same time.
That they have the opportunity to maybe create a form ahead of time at cost, whatever that might be.
Great.
So they can do that up front because of parking spots and bar space and everything else. They might not be aware of it like we are. So we should help that developer.
And both parties can learn something.
And
We
both can
can.
learn, and then
Yeah.
they can have that in place before they would have to go to planning, so they have a full comprehension and maybe not have to wait for another cycle the following month
Great.
while their contractors are waiting and so on. So
Outstanding.
just an idea.
Super.
Just a final, of course, we, acknowledge, the great service of Dave Fields over 20 years. And just to clarify, so next Wednesday, which is April 15th, at the Historic District Commission meeting at 6:30 is where his fellow commissioners will recognize, his long service there. So that's what the mayor was mentioning. The family will have a celebration of life sometime in May
Correct.
to be determined
At their home.
Friday,
Yep.
May 8th.
Yep.
So, well, yeah, and so in May. But please, if you would like to hear, I'm hoping that the commissioners will tell some tales. I know that I serve as, I've for 6 years as the liaison to the HDC, and he is an icon on HDC, so he will be missed.
Absolutely.
That's it.
And we did it tonight too, because it's on Zoom. They can remember it. They can go back and look at that tape and the whole bit. The HCC is not a Zoom meeting, so that was another reason we wanted to get together for the family. And I've been talking to Amy and Jillian. I thought absolutely the city's heart was broken a little bit, and it's in our thoughts and prayers right now. So
Well, he lived a good life, but we just should have kept her, stayed longer.
absolutely. You wanted to finish out that one last project too, but good. Anybody else? How about for the city management?
Nothing, sir.
You sure, this is, if you do well, I don't know if George is coming back.
Get home and take
Yep.
your wife out.
Good, thank you very much. So with that, I'm looking for a motion for adjournment, so I won't have to have one of you gavel out.
I was looking forward to it, but there'll be a day in the future.
This is true. So do I have a motion for
moved.
adjournment? So we have a motion. Do we have support for that motion?
Amen.
Great. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Great.
Someone
We're
texted
done.
George, we got.
Thank